Still trying to build muscle in your 40s, but copying the same workout you did in your 20s? Come on now. No wonder your joints are screaming, your progress is stalling, and your gym sessions feel more like a punishment than a purpose. Have you ever wondered why you're pushing harder but growing less? Why your strength is fading even though you're putting in all those hours? It's not that your body's given up on you, it's that you're following a playbook that stopped working for you years ago. Let's rewrite that today. I'm Simon H, your Muscle After 50 coach, and in today's video, do you know what? I'm going to show you how to build muscle in your 40s and your 50s without breaking down your body or living in the gym. We'll break down why intensity is everything and why more volume and frequency is the trap that's keeping you small, weak, and collecting injuries like speeding tickets. We're not even stopping there, because you're going to discover why slow motion or high intensity training is a godsend for guys over 40, and how to train twice a week to optimize your recovery, rebuild your body like a machine. We'll also address the biggest myths and mistakes keeping older men stuck, and why following the herd is the fastest path to mediocrity. Come on, you ready? Let's grow. Why intensity is the key to building muscle after 40. Let's go back to caveman days for a second. You didn't survive by doing 3 sets of 10 with perfect rest intervals. Nah, you survived because your body adapted to threats. You got stronger because if you didn't, you became some animal's food. Every adaptation your body made, stronger legs, faster sprint, more muscle, was in response to that perceived threat. That's why intensity matters. It's not about going through the motions, it's about sending a clear signal to your body that says, do you know what? This environment is dangerous. Get stronger or die. Now, I don't want you to confuse intensity with recklessness. There's a clear difference. We're not talking about training until you're pinned onto the bar and your eyes are bulging out your head. No, we are talking about training to the point where your muscles no longer can safely do another rep in good form. That moment, momentarily failure, is when your body gets that signal to grow. So now that we've got intensity in play, let's figure out why volume and frequency is killing your progress. Now, this is what most men do. They train hard, and then they train hard again before the body even gets time to recover. They think more sets, more workouts, more exercise, that must equal more gains. But over 40, your recovery system is slower, and even more so after 50 and beyond. You're hammering more volume on top of slow recovery. Your body never gets a chance to adapt to the strength changes and grow. The truth, the more intensity that you use, the less volume you need. And that's where slow motion or high intensity training comes into play. Here's how it works. You use a controlled tempo, say 6 seconds up, 6 seconds down. Now, you remove momentum, no bouncing, no cheating. You stop just before lockout to keep constant tension on that muscle. And you train to the edge of failure, recruiting every last fiber you've got. Now, here's a myth I always hear. But Simon, you need fast, powerful movements to activate those fast twitch muscle fibers. Wrong. You see, fast twitch muscle fibers aren't activated by speed. You see, they're activated by how close you are to failure. The closer you push towards that fatigue, the more your muscle has to draw in on those big guns, the fast twitch muscle fibers. Oh, and here's the payoff. Safer joints and tendons, less stress on the nervous system, shorter workouts, and more muscle stimulus. Greater long-term consistency, and that is the absolute key to building muscle after 40, is the workout that you can do consistently. It's not a workaround, call it an upgrade. Okay, so now we've got those three parts in play, let's add the piece that most people overlook, and that is your recovery and your mobility. Now here's where we really separate the boys from the real men over 40, the ones who get jacked but don't just train hard, they recover smarter. Now I have clients that train twice a week using slow motion high intensity training, but in between their training sessions, we add a third session in the gym where we focus on active recovery, mobility drills, core work, and stability. Now, this third session builds better posture, injury resistance, improve muscle activation for that next session, and that athletic, pain-free movement you secretly wish you could have again. I mean, think of it like this. Your lifting builds the structure, you know, that foundation. Your recovery and mobility builds the engine, the brickwork over that foundation, and the suspension that makes it more powerful through life. Now, I get it. Some guys are going to hear this and say, that's not how I used to train. My favorite YouTuber does 20 plus sets a muscle group. And if I'm not sweating buckets and throwing weight around, I ain't training. Come on, you're not 25. You're better if you train smarter. Now, here's some bonus tips and recovery pillars for maximum muscle growth over 40. Okay, so here's some powerful upgrades that will make your workouts hit even harder. Yep, we're going to start with sleep. Now, I'm just going to give you some bullet point tips. Black out that room. Make sure that temperature is just right, about 69 or just below. Now, no screens before bed. We've got to block out that blue light because that disturbs our sleep and junks up the circadian rhythm. Add things like magnesium glycinate to help calm your nervous system. Now, let's move on to gut health. Now, if you're not paying close attention to your gut health, I want you to do a 4-week probiotic prebiotic protocol. Get yourself a really good pro and prebiotic. Also, invest in some good digestive enzymes and use them with your heaviest meals. And very importantly, remove foods that trigger bloat. Okay, here's just some nutrition tips. We know that protein is the king, and we must indulge in a little bit more protein than the average guy. But here's where protein becomes a problem. When we have a lot of protein, that can make our bodies very acidic. So one thing that you might want to do with your heaviest protein meal, and I mean just one of them, you might want to invest in taking half a teaspoon of baking soda. Knock it back with 4 ounces of water. That will balance your pH level. Okay, the next one is hormones. I can't leave this without talking about hormones. Don't guess, test. Go and see your doctor and find out where your hormone levels are at. Once you know where your hormone levels are at, then you can make the next strategic move to make sure that your hormones are playing the same tune. So, your next move doesn't have to be TRT. There are lots of other options available to you. I'm not on TRT and I'm 55. I've just found a way of how to optimize my natural T levels. You can do the same, but you won't know unless you test. Now you know how to train for muscle after 40, and if you want a more laser-guided approach, just check out my follow-along workout program. Link is in the show notes. None of this will be possible unless you are sleeping like it's your job. And that's exactly what we're covering in the next video.